So when you think about learning English, what's the very first thing that comes to mind? Like the absolute first step?
Yeah, most people probably jump to vocabulary lists or maybe basic grammar rules.
Right. Or maybe just trying to, say a few common phrases.
Exactly. But what if the real foundation, the thing that actually unlocks everything else, is something simpler?
Something we might even take for granted.
Precisely. Something so basic it often gets overlooked. But mastering it is key to real fluency.
Interesting. And this is where learners sometimes stumble, right at the beginning.
It's a really common misstep. They skip past this initial stage thinking, oh, that's just for kids, or I already know my ABCs. But you can't build a house without a foundation, right? And definitely not a skyscraper without a really solid one.
Makes sense. So for English.
For English, that foundation, that non-negotiable starting point, is the alphabet.
The alphabet, okay.
And in this deep dive, we're going to explore why getting those 26 letters down cold isn't just helpful. It's absolutely essential for mastering the language.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because I imagine some listeners, maybe intermediate learners, might be thinking, the alphabet, really? Isn't that a bit basic?
It's a fair question.
Are we maybe overstating its importance? Or does it genuinely stay relevant all the way through?
It absolutely stays relevant. That's the core of the misconception.
Right.
It's not just a task you check off on day one. It's more like an active skill that supports everything else you do in English.
So not just a hurdle to get over.
Not at all. It underpins reading, writing, speaking. Trying to skip it is like, well, trying to run before you can walk.
Okay, so where does this show up practically? Let's get concrete.
Well, the most immediate thing is probably spelling.
Yes. Okay, I can see that. Like you're traveling, maybe?
Exactly. You're abroad, trying to check into a hotel, order something, even just give your name.
And if your name isn't, say, Smith or Jones.
Right. If it's unfamiliar, people might just stare blankly or write it down completely wrong. We've all been there, right?
Definitely. Those awkward moments.
So to avoid that, you really need to know all 26 letters, know their names, and be able to say them clearly, like instantly.
And it works both ways, too.
How so?
Well, you can also ask someone else to spell something for you. Sorry, could you spell that street name? Super useful.
That's a great point. Absolutely. It's reciprocal. Knowing the alphabet empowers you both ways.
Okay, so spelling is the obvious one, but you mentioned it goes deeper.
It does. That practical need connects directly to something more fundamental. Sound recognition and articulation.
The actual sounds of English.
Yes. Really, knowing the alphabet helps you start to recognize, tell apart, and then actually make the specific sounds of English.
Which can be tricky.
Very tricky. And this is vital because if you mispronounce words even slightly, well, misunderstandings happen.
Or people just might struggle to understand you at all.
Precisely. Think about short vowels like I in sit versus E in set.
Yeah, subtle but crucial.
Or the sounds that don't exist in lots of other languages. Getting those wrong can really change the meaning or just make things unclear.
Okay, so letter knowledge helps tune your ear and your mouth to the right sounds. Now, I know studies back this up, right? Like with phonetic training.
They do. Research clearly shows that learners who work on phonetics, who really train their ear.
And maybe use tools like the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet.
Exactly. Using the IPA is a powerful way to do this. Learners who engage with it get much better at hearing those tiny differences between sounds.
Can you explain a bit more how the IPA helps here? It looks kind of intimidating.
It can seem that way, but it's incredibly useful because it tackles this idea of phonetic awareness head-on.
Okay.
Basically, each English letter, or sometimes a combination of letters, makes specific sounds. IPA gives each sound its own unique symbol.
So one symbol, one sound, no confusion.
Precisely. Understanding these letter-sound connections and maybe using IPA to clarify them lets you pronounce words much more accurately.
And that helps with sounding less accented.
It definitely helps reduce a heavy accent, which many learners want. Think about sounds that are tricky for non-native speakers, like maybe the English R versus L.
Oh yeah, a classic one.
IPA can show you exactly where your tongue should be, how the air should flow. It makes the abstract physical.
I see. So it's about consciously understanding how to make the sound based on the letter.
Yes. That awareness is just crucial for telling similar sounds apart and boosting your overall pronunciation accuracy. Makes you clearer, more natural sounding.
And when you sound clearer, when you know you're saying things right, That must do wonders for your confidence.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge benefit. Confidence in speaking.
It's not just about being understood, is it? It's feeling competent.
Exactly. When you're not constantly worried about messing up sounds, you feel less hesitant.
You're more likely to just talk.
Right. You're more willing to jump into conversations, to practice, to ask questions without that fear of, being judged or misunderstood.
Which then leads to more practice.
And better pronunciation. It's a positive feedback loop.
I like that. Confidence leads to practice. Practice leads to better skills. Better skills lead to more confidence.
Precisely. And it all loops back to getting those foundational alphabet sounds right in the first place.
It really highlights how interconnected it all is. Speaking of foundations, sometimes the simplest tools are best. I remember hearing a tip. Something about alphabet songs. Like for kids.
Yeah. It might sound a bit silly for adult learners, but it's actually a really effective tip.
Why does that work? Is it just the repetition?
It's partly repetition, but also rhythm and melody. Music and rhyme are powerful mnemonic devices. They help lodge things in your memory.
So the song helps the letter names and sounds stick.
Exactly. It creates a sort of mental pathway, makes recall faster, almost automatic. Plus, the musicality can subtly help with rhythm and intonation patterns in English.
That's clever. So it's not about being childish. It's about using a proven memory technique.
Right. It makes memorizing less of a chore and actually helps embed the sounds. So, yeah, embrace the alphabet song, build that foundation enjoyably.
It's like building muscle memory for your mouth and ears.
That's a great way to put it. And building that memory leads to another important skill, especially with English.
Which is?
Decoding new vocabulary and understanding irregularities.
Ah, yes. English spelling is notorious.
It really is.
How does knowing the alphabet help there? It seems like the rules just break down.
Well, it doesn't give you a magic key, but having a strong grasp of the usual letter-sound relationships gives you a baseline.
Okay, a starting point.
Yeah. You start to develop an intuition, you recognize patterns, even exceptions. You learn to spot silent letters like the K in no or the B in doubt.
So it helps you navigate the weirdness.
Exactly. It makes you a more adaptable reader and speller, even with words you haven't seen before. You're better equipped to kind of figure them out.
That turns the alphabet from just letters into a sort of decoding tool.
Precisely. It's your primary kit for tackling the complexities. And this sensitivity to sound also links to rhythm and stress.
How so? Is that directly tied to letters?
Not directly to individual letters, no, but that phonetic awareness we talked about, it sharpens your ear.
You start hearing more detail.
Yes. You become better at hearing the musicality of English, which syllables get stressed, which ones are reduced or unstressed.
It is really important for sounding natural.
Crucial. English is stress-timed. If you stress the wrong syllables or give everything equal weight, your speech can sound very flat or robotic, even if individual sounds are okay.
So knowing the alphabet sounds well helps you perceive that larger rhythm.
It's the gateway. It builds the necessary auditory discrimination. You start hearing the melody, not just the notes.
Fascinating. Okay, one last piece then.
One final important point, especially for learners pushing towards fluency, error correction and self-monitoring.
Being able to catch your own mistakes.
Exactly. When that alphabet sound map is deeply internalized, your brain has a reference point. If you say something that doesn't match the map,
You notice it.
you're more likely to notice it, yes. You might hear yourself say a vowel wrong or mix up similar consonants. It allows for self-correction, either right away or later when practicing.
Instead of always needing someone else to point it out.
Right. It builds autonomy. You become your own pronunciation coach, in a way. It empowers you to take control of your improvement.
That's incredibly valuable. Taking ownership of your learning.
It really is.
So, wrapping this up, it seems crystal clear. That message is, don't just glance at the alphabet.
Don't take it for granted. Absolutely not.
It really is that first vital step. Maybe underestimated, but incredibly powerful.
It's the bedrock. It enables clear communication, builds confidence, helps you decode the language, hear its rhythm, and even correct yourself.
It sets you up for a smoother journey overall.
Definitely. Master the alphabet, truly understand the sounds behind the letters, and you're starting your English journey on the absolute best footing.
For reading, writing, speaking, everything.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep building those strong foundations.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time.